Sure. So do you want to set up another match?
Yes, let's do that actually. So, folks, before you press start, just get the room together, and then we will hold for chat to get their accounts ready, so that you folks can all jump into the game if you have PBE accounts. Okay?
Yeah.
Like I said, this is on PBE, not North America or EU. So, we will start the game up, and then we will give it a second before we start before we open up the lobby, so that you folks have a second to get ready.
Yeah. How should I do this? Oh.
Okay, what's the name of the game going to be? Twitch.tv/League Community?
Yep.
Okay, perfect. That is the name of our channel, folks. So like I said, follow so you guys get updates when we're kicking these things off. So everybody get ready if you've got a PB account. And all right, go ahead and open it up, Luke.
Yeah.
Okay, so hop into the game if you...
Yep.
Oh. Also, folks, I've seen a couple people mentioning trying to get on PBE, and as you'll see in our case, and earlier on we've had some difficulties getting the game off, PBE is still in an interesting state. The patch just went out today, which means that a lot of people are on, and it's always a little interesting. So, wow, that filled up quick.
Yeah.
Hopefully that's a lot of you guys from chat. Press enter.
Sorry, Archimedes. Okay, I'm gonna start the game.
Okay, let's kick it off.
Yeah, I'd wait for people to spectate, but we're already streaming, so... let's see.
Okay.
Do I want to go... Ghost?
Apologies for all the repeating, folks. I just want to make sure that people who are tuning in have the full context on why I'm looking over my shoulder all the time. Unfortunately, we had some technical issues earlier, so we had to switch computers, which is part of why Luke got hammered in that last game. Yeah, he was unfortunately not playing levels 1 through 4.
Only part, to be fair, but yeah.
So we're gonna keep this up. We want to make sure that we get the chance to show you guys all the cool gameplay that's in store.
Mm-hmm.
Aurelion Sol obviously just went to PBE just today, so getting that first look. All right. Nobody banned Aurelion Sol, or I guess this is no ban. It's blind.
I would be really impressed if they did.
Somebody's hacking PBE. Okay.
I think we would prefer they hacked PBE over hacking live. So yeah,
there's that. So I saw a question earlier that intrigued me because I wouldn't have expected this. Do his stars disappear when he is CC'd?
Oh yeah, actually they do. That's actually a relatively recent addition to the kit, and I think it does a lot. So it used to be that when he got CC'd, it would turn his W off, sort of akin to how a Nivea ult works, where she can put the pool of frost down, and then if she gets stunned, it just sort of disappears.
Can you use the skin?
Oh, sure. Oh no!
Oh, sorry, folks. Can't use it.
I don't
Can't
have
use
it.
Twitch
That's
chat, get off our case, please. Apologies. Maybe if Luke gets destroyed as quickly as last time, we might even get a third game.
If we have a third game, or this game doesn't start, because that's a possibility.
Okay.
Then we can do that.
Yeah. So bear with us, folks. Like I said, PBE is obviously on its patch day right now, so it can be a little hairy. The game might take a while to start, might not even start at all, and we'll just do a new one in that case.
Yep.
So I apologize. I interrupted you, Luke.
Yeah.
You were talking about why the orbs disappear when CC.
Sure. Yeah. So the reason they disappear entirely is because it's actually a what you'd call a conveyance problem. Because it used to be that the gameplay was, I'm an AD carry, or I'm a mid-range mage, and I want to stand where his like outer star orbit is. But I can't. Like, I'm Malzahar. How do I fight this guy? His stars are always at my range. And the answer was, well, hey, you just need to silence him, and they'll collapse down to their smaller range, and then you can fight him. And players were like, well, I thought he just turned them off. Right? I didn't know that happened. And so I realized that, we need to make sure that players can understand, like, when they happen to stun him, that it means something. That means something extra. So I tried what I thought might be too far, and just said, okay, they turn off completely. I just played the star disappear animation, and they're gone for the duration of the stun. And actually it tested really well, because it meant that more characters had a way to beat Aurelion. Because if anything that I'm worried about balance-wise is that maybe this guy just doesn't have enough counterplay. Like, if he's a little bit ahead, you just can't exist around him.
Sure.
So adding another hook for, okay, but Alistair, if you have an Alistair on your team, he can shut him down. You can kill him while he's vulnerable. Make him really make him vulnerable. Or if you have Ari can't normally fight him, but if she can land her charm, then she has this window to blow him up. So I really like that, and then people understood really quickly, like, oh, I nicked him with a Malzahar Q and silenced him, and it went away. Oh, okay, cool. So that was sort of the reason there was make sure that players understood. Well, okay, well, I can go buy the skin.
Oh, wait, actually,
maybe
let's not do that, just because I'm not entirely sure it was announced. So it probably actually isn't even on there, is it?
I've seen people playing it.
Oh, okay. Well,
So,
then it's got to be out there.
It's hey, it has the skin.
Oh, no, hey, we're fine. I'm hearing in chat that we're good. Okay, sorry.
World first announcement. He has a launch skin.
Thought I was going to get fired for a second there, folks.
Yeah, and actually the launch skin is, if you haven't seen it, it's a really cool... All right, I'm going to make another game called Twitch.
Folks in chat, sorry about the game not starting. If you were in there, hop right back in. We're going to give you a second. 1 second, Luke. Okay, never mind. It's in. Go, find it. Twitch.tv/LeagueCommunity.
Man, yeah. Unfortunately, my client sort of locks up when I do this, so give it a minute.
So hopefully this one will kick off. Yeah, I'm fired, I know. Guys,
Nice.
stop making fun of Release Bard.
No, that's fair. No, release Bard. My bad. Internal playtests. Bard was crushing. He was crushing it when he at release, and we kept sort of easing his power back, and he kept crushing it. And what I didn't really realize was that the games he was crushing it in. I'm gonna start the game.
Yep.
Boop. Oh, I didn't. Someone was trying to tell me in chat what made it break, and I'm not sure what they said.
Oops.
Oh well.
Well, hopefully we figured it out.
And what I realized sort of after the fact is that the people that were telling me he was crushing in playtests, or people that were crushing with him in playtests, were challenger tier support players.
Gotcha.
And as soon as it's sort of shown out, even with the stronger Bard right now, if you are really in tune with what he's doing and you really execute all of his stuff just right, he's super strong. But if you sort of don't quite know where to put the magical journey, or don't quite know how to line up, he just falls apart really quickly. So I wanted to make a character in Bard that was sort of quirky and weird and different, because honestly, we have a lot of supports that are really sort of straightforward to play. We have our Jannas, we have our Sonas. So I wanted to make kind of a weird, quirky, different support, and it sort of is catering to weird, quirky, different players.
Sure.
So. Yeah, but Release Bard was just reacting to that feedback from the two players who could really, really execute on him internally, meant that the average player just had no chance at all.
A lot of experience, big learning curve. Makes sense.
Yeah.
Hey, Iguana Mike, really do apologize for you being in the previous lobby and not being able to get into this one.
Sorry.
Unfortunately, PBE's just acting up a little bit. We got bugs galore, but the show must go on. Appreciate you sticking with us. Hopefully you still enjoy watching the gameplay. And we will be back with more streams, with more gameplay, with more designers.
Wait, I'm sure chat's mad at me. Okay, I did it. Sorry.
You got it. We got the skin, folks. We got one thing right.
Oh, gosh. Wow, I almost botched that completely.
Don't need to worry about the context on these, but just quick little yes or no's. Do the stars go away when you Zhonya's?
Actually, so... I made a bunch of little I cheat a little bit. So if you Zhonya's, or an ally Tahm Kench eats you, or an ally Bard ults you, the stars stay out. Because I made the decision that enemy effects, and the tooltip says this very clearly, that enemy effects that cause you to be unable to cast, meaning stuns, silences, the few things that do interrupt channels, those cause your stars to go away. Ally effects that also technically do the same thing, like Bard ult, Zhonya's, and Tahm Kench ult, and I think Callista ult, things like that, don't cause them to go away. Just because that's sort of the cooler thing. That's sort of the gut check of the game design. It's is it sufficiently cool, and does it have a sufficiently small impact on the gameplay? Yeah, keep it.
Gotcha. Okay. What about Yasuo Wall?
Good question. So Yasuo Wall does not block his stars, just because they're sort of permanent, in that regard. When they're out in the world and things stops them. Braum can put his shield up and block the damage from them if he's facing the direction they're coming from. Okay. But he doesn't block them any real way. They're sort of a weird hybrid between a Karthus damage zone.
Sure.
Just sort of compressed into a point, instead of being just a giant AoE. So I just sort of made that determination. His ult also, kind of weirdly, his ult isn't blocked by Yasuo wall and Braum shield. Just
because it's like an area thing rather than a line missile.
It was intended to be. It was sort of meant to be kind of like Lux Laser, which is sort of just this like beam. The visuals ended up being a little bit not quite the beam, but I think it still sort of makes sense. It's like knocking people back. It's a very forceful thing.
Gotcha. Silent Optimist, you know it, Nikki Taylor. We are actually just on the League SoundCloud right now, so folks, feel free to check it out. Just some gentle ambiance. Oh, it went off.
Yeah.
Okay,
Nice.
all right.
Yeah, someone just asked. Yeah,
I can keep my job.
Nice. Congrats. Enemy Bard ult and enemy Tahm Kench will make the stars disappear. And actually, enemy Tahm Kench, even before I made the decision that the stars would go away entirely, enemy Tahm Kench used to eat him and the stars too. Just because it, again, looked really cool for him to just devour. You know, it's sort of the scale of things. His Tahm Kench mouth is so big he can devour even this giant and the stars surrounding it.
Totally makes sense, man. There's a lore reason for it, I swear.
Totally.
All right,
okay,
let me catch back up on chat, folks. So we got the game going. We're going to get a game off. Luke is going to be able to play the game for you and not have to leave levels 1 through 4. So we're going to have a good game for you, hopefully.
Yeah. I guess seeing a couple questions in chat. His E, he can cancel himself during flight. It's actually just as simple as issuing move order. Like, you just right-click and he'll stop. Because I like the gameplay, but you can't change directions while you're flying. So you pick a direction and you'll fly that way until you stop, whether because you ran out of steam. And the E rank up incentive, one of the rank ups is you go 1,000 range farther. So it starts at 3,000 and it goes to 6,000, 7,000. What's 3 plus 5?
8.
Yeah. Or plus 4, I guess, because it starts at 3. So yeah. But you can cancel out of it whenever you want, either by pressing E again or just right-clicking somewhere. And if you're inside a wall, it'll sort of nudge you out of it because you can't perch on top of things in our game.
Gotcha. So I've got an interesting question from FanArt8. I think I might have seen it before. Maybe it was a repeat of somebody else's question or just similar. What did you guys ever think about making different parts of the body take different amounts of damage? So we see 100% on the head, 50% on the body, 10% on the tail, stuff like that. Is that just too crazy / not satisfying, or what do you think there?
Yeah, that's interesting. I think the thing in my mind that sort of made us not explore that too much was that skill shots are sort of all or nothing. So if if a blitz hook is going to hit you, you can't get 10% grabbed by a blitz hook. So
makes sense.
And I think the only let's see, that kind of thing I think could work, but it would need to be on a tank, and it would need to be on a guy who was probably the tankiest tank in the world. Because if he's gonna be blocking all these skill shots with his body, he's gonna be taking a lot of damage. Although I guess the damage reduction would sort of help in that regard. I also think that it's sort of, I don't know. I'm not sure as an enemy player if I would really appreciate that I could throw a spell and hit my target, and just because he happened to flip around, he would just block it. I guess another thing that could probably be worked around, but at least in the base game, understanding how things work, we don't have turn times in our game. So if you just, when you turn around, you just flip around instantly. So the gameplay of I'm going to play Dragon against Ezreal, and every time he shoots a Q, I'm going to just turn around for a split second and take 10% damage from him seems kind of, I don't know. I worry that either wouldn't work, or if it did work, it would be a really, really stressful champion to play.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
A couple questions to cover quickly in chat. So, Siju Philly PHX something like that, asking about why Aurelion changed from the old Ao Shin concept. We talked about that a little bit earlier on in the stream. So if you actually want to check back once the broadcast is over, you can see that. There's also a forum post that went up a couple weeks ago, I believe, where we talked about some of the background for that situation. Exton7 is actually asking about something I was completely unfamiliar with, which is why does his passive kill minions below 25 health? Is that real?
Yeah, it is. So
thanks, Exton7.
That is, I mean, it's in there. The answer there is that his last hitting's real hard.
Okay.
And we wanted to sort of.
Why is it so hard?
Because his stars. So his
stars F things up. Okay.
Yeah, and so we could have been like, oh, stars do double damage to minions, but oh, okay, this game's off to a good start. We could just be like, oh, his stars do 4x damage to minions, but that would mean you could push lane really, really hard. Like he would just obliterate the minion wave.
Gotcha.
So sort of as a sort of a middle ground, we said, okay, well, in the case where it would help you to last hit, the stars do bonus damage. So let's see if we can get Bubble Bonk. Oh no! The worst. I'm already missing CS. I also didn't rank my W. I'm sure everyone's.
Oh yeah, I'm sure it's.
Yeah, I would have gotten it. So yeah, it's a bit of a I don't know. We thought the gameplay was cool, but you know, League of Legends isn't just a game about having fun positioning games with your enemy. Wow, I'm losing lane.
Did we get a boop? Somebody mentioned boop. A great start, as I see.
Yep.
Hey, while you're walking back to lane, do you mind checking your audio? Or whenever you go back and you got a second, check your audio if you don't mind.
Yeah, sure.
I got something I want to look at. Marvin the Mage, it is obviously PBE day, which is why we're showing you guys Aurelion Sol hot off the presses on PBE. Obviously, that means there's going to be a lot of people logging in, so there might be some issues. So just keep giving it a shot. You'll probably get in at some point.
I'm missing like every last hit. Again, I've never actually played against another Aurelion Sol, so I've never had to do this game, this like dodging game.
You are not prepared.
Yeah, I was not prepared. I thought I was going to do all right, then. Ah, come on. Okay, well.
Folks are asking how his passive damage scales.
So it has, so it is a, there's two things that scale it. His character level, it scales up a little bit every level, and it actually scales up a little bit harder late game than early. And I'm sure League of Legends Wikia will have will have the breakdown as soon as they can.
Oh, you know it, Twilight Nova.
And then it also it has an AP ratio as well. Which at this right now anyway, the AP ratio. Thank you. The AP ratio also scales up with level, which is a little bit odd, but and then the other main source of your passive damage is actually your W rank up. So your W spell has a passive on it, which is simply your stars do 20 more damage, more damage flat. And then the way the W spell is hooked up is that it does it makes your stars do 150% of their damage.
Gotcha.
Of whatever their base plus AP ratio plus passive scaling is.
So this is his skin, right?
Yes, this is
Okay,
his skin.
gotcha. So again, folks, I'm Adilla Most Dirty here on the League Community live stream. With me is Luke Reiner, also known as Rabid Llama, who's the gameplay designer on Aurelion Sol. Also worked on Bard, which we've talked about a little bit. He's not going to be able to talk tons about the skin or the narrative background, but obviously more information is going to be coming out through other communications on that down the line. So we're here on PBE, showcasing you guys some of the gameplay.
Yeah.
What is he pretty locked in? You know, might things still change while he's on PBE in terms of numbers? Are there things you're keeping an eye on?
Yeah, we're actually a little bit. Numbers are tricky on this guy because we're pretty sure he's kind of hard to pick up. Like he takes a few games to get going.
Okay.
And we don't really want a repeat of the Bard situation where he comes out and he's just super weak, and it takes like 6 months for him to kind of come into his own. So we're going to be paying attention to sort of what's up on PBE and see how quickly people actually do pick him up. I know Wings of Death was, like I said, I've only checked out his stream right before this one, and he picked him up real quick. So it's possible that we're kind of underestimating you guys, actually.
Gotcha.
That the league community can pick up a new character like that.
Somebody's pointing this out. Do both of your champions do barrel rolls? Oh man, folks, that's what we're here. Gypsy Lord with the 3 hits, certainly T breaking all the rules, and Rabid Llama with the barrel rolls.
Try a somersault.
Get your own, Fox.
I mean, I guess E is using boost to chase.
Help me! Sorry, we're flashing back.
Yeah, it's actually a Star Fox Easter egg. While he's in the barrel roll animation, he's completely invincible.
Oh,
that is not true.
You heard it here, folks.
Even a little bit.
The secret tech.
Okay, so clearly other people go pick up Aurelion Sol. I just can't.
You're helping them pick it up.
Yeah,
by providing scrumptious food.
Yeah, and to an extent, like I don't want to design a character that's just like for me.
Sure.
If I'm not like the super best at the character, that's fine because other people will and will hopefully enjoy playing him. So,
Sure.
That's my defense.
Gotcha. So a couple questions actually from various people regarding support Aurelion Sol. Possibilities there?
Yeah, I think
And in general, maybe talk about just where he's supposed to be, where you see him played.
yeah. So I'm a little skeptical of support Aurelion Sol because I think he needs a fair bit of gold to get the items he needs to be effective. Both in terms of he needs AP scaling to really. He needs AP scaling to do much damage in game. He needs okay. He needs AP to sort of get scaled into late game. He needs to buy defensive items to survive late game because he again doesn't have any active defenses. He sort of has to rely on whatever tank he's bought. And like items like Rylai's are just such huge multipliers on this guy because being able to make the other guys slower than you is huge. So I don't think he'd be a great support just because he's so gold hungry or needs gold to scale. I think he would also steal a lot of CS by accident. Maybe there's a version where he goes like Targon's Brace and uses the star last hits to actually last hit. That's possible, but yeah, I don't think support's a great role for him.
Gotcha. Luke, while you're there, can we see a dance?
Oh sure.
Let's see this dance.
An enemy has been slain.
It's beautiful. I don't know what it is.
Oh, it's actually a little bit broken. I think the skin's not.
Okay, well hey, the skin's still in development, folks.
Yeah. It looks like sometimes you like need to tweak the like 3D rig a little bit, and sometimes it makes the animations look like
cut the
most
tape.
of the way.
Cut the tape.
Yeah. But anyway, so talking about positions he could be in, I think I was really skeptical of him as a jungler, but there have been some recent tests where they've sort of found out that yeah, he kind of can jungle if you can kite really really well, then he can actually clear pretty effectively. He can clear pretty effectively and kind of get really big, and like his ganks are really strong. Yeah, I did it. I did it, Twitch chat.
There you go. You're putting that other soul in his place.
Oh lord.
Hey, by the way, we got a couple of requests around being able to using the E and Q on kind of like long range mode. If you get a chance to use those, that'd be pretty cool for chat.
Yeah, I was trying to show that off sort of for no real good reason in the previous game. So
he has to try, folks. The last game didn't go so well, so he's doing his best. He does have autos, folks. Luke is just addicted to the stars, man.
Oh yeah, I am really awful at weaving auto attacks.
Luke was actually talking about that. It's a thing you're gonna definitely have to work on with Aurelion is making sure to weave in your auto attacks. It can be pretty difficult in between all the star usage, but it's definitely gonna be important.
Yeah, but a nice thing about it is that your auto attack range is the same as your star range. So if you auto attack and you move to something, it'll put them right at your outer star range.
Yeah. So folks are a little bit surprised. It sounds like his E range is really long.
Yeah, this is rank.
Yeah, I'm
this
sorry,
is
not his
E.
range, his cooldown.
Yeah, so the E is sort of kind of half an ultimate in a way. Like his ultimate's underwhelming in part because or his ultimate could be perceived as underwhelming because his E is really strong.
Gotcha.
And it's he has sort of
Yeah, I mean you get to fly over the whole map.
yeah, he's got more than half of a Twisted Fate ultimate and more than half of a
Gotcha.
of a Nocturne ultimate.
So think about it like
as an
that,
E.
folks. Yeah.
And the passive is strong as well. So yeah, he's definitely a really strong roamer. So any and I'm yeah. So oh wow,
Uh-oh.
nice hook.
It's going poorly.
It is going poorly.
All right, while you are dead,
Hey, I wasn't dead till after you said. Okay.
I see
yeah.
the future. While you are dead, do you mind hitting your sound?
Oh right.
Yeah. So let's make sure the sound are the SFX still down?
Yep.
Perfect. Okay, and can we actually maybe jack the voice up a bit? Got folks asking if they can hear his voice a bit better. Folks, I know there's a YouTube video out there already with 31 minutes of VO from him, so definitely go check that out. You can see some of the hate he throws Terex away, as well as the rest of his VO set. Yeah, those death animations. I mean, for my money, my favorite is still Rumbles. Just him shooting up into the air on a rocket of fire.
Yeah, he gets ejected into
hitting the ground like 5 seconds later, but that definitely did look pretty cool.
Let's do it.
What about jungling? Can you see him in the jungle?
Yeah, okay, I'm impatient. I'm impatient. This is a bad gold thing, but I'm impatient. Yes, like I was saying, he can jungle. He's sort of awkward in the jungle a little bit because his star. Here, let me demonstrate. You know, it's like, haha, I'm gonna hit him with stars. I did it. Oh wait, no, I'm gonna pull this in. Oh geez, and you kind of can't.
Interesting.
He has to sort of kite them around.
Sure.
But through using your Q to stun them and put them at the right ranges, if you do it just right, he's actually pretty good at it. Right now, anyway. And I think as long as that doesn't become like he's hyper dominant in the jungle, I think that's the sort of thing that we think is awesome.
So it sounds like folks are just gonna have to try him out. It sounds like he kind of like softly breaks a lot of rules, where like, you know, the ultimate might not be all the game ender that people think, and then the E is a really long cooldown, half an ultimate itself. And,
yeah.
And the stars are really gonna change how you play. So.
Yeah, and like we said before, he can't hide in brushes, although.
Oh my gosh.
She can.
Luke, somebody just raised a great point. Not only do your champion, this is Nightcaller92 realizing this, not only do your champions do barrel rolls, they also go on magical journeys with their E's.
You know, that's actually fair. I think I just really enjoy movement in the game. Just, I really love being able to click around and do stuff and feel good moving, which is partially why this character sort of has the kit that he does, which is very focused on movement. Like, none of his base kit is either a spell that causes you to fly somewhere or a spell that works while moving. That's an Evelyn. And the Thresh.
So, Happy Day, we talked about this a little bit earlier, but TLDR, yeah, his the bush does not hide his orbs, so they're still going to be popping out, and that's going to happen anywhere from Fog of War or anything, so it's definitely going to be something you have to adapt to.
Yeah, we decided really early on that we were just going to try it out, and it's definitely something to adjust to. Like, you know, you can't ambush with your team, but he can come flying in over walls, right?
Sure.
Out of combat, he's very maneuverable, so it's sort of the same output of surprise enemies without the exact same input of hiding in a bush.
Gotcha.
I feel like there was a thing I skipped somewhere in there.
That's okay, don't worry about it. Covering a lot of stuff.
Because I am a star dragon. That's why.
You guys able to hear the VO all right? I think so from what I can tell.
Yeah,
but,
I hope
but
so.
let me know if you guys aren't able to hear it yet.
Yeah, that's as high as it goes.
Folks, I keep hearing 8 ping. This is not a North American server. This is the PBE server, which I believe are located in Los Angeles, where our offices are. Unlike the North American servers, which moved to Chicago this year. Okay.
I'm more excited by the 200
Last
FPS.
year. Last year? Yeah, last year. What am I doing?
All right, you asked for it. Oh, I took it already. Oh well.
How long is the E range in total? I know you mentioned that it's almost a TF ultimate.
Yeah, so at rank 1, it's well, so this is it at rank 2. So it gained about 30% more when I ranked it up, so that's how big it can be.
Gotcha.
Yeah, I'm being a really poor team player right now because I'm trying to talk about this character.
They are a work in progress.
Hey, I know we're distracting you a bunch, but if you get a second to do a joke, chat would love to see it. Maybe wait till the enemy isn't right there.
Horribly futile.
I gotta say, God, he's pretty.
He looks
He's
fantastic.
just a pretty champion.
There was a lot of engineering work done making the tail move smoothly, and it really paid off. Well, that's what I get for zooming in. It's all right.
So, folks, take it easy on old Luke here. We are pretty much screwing him over with all these requests and demands for information while he tries to play.
It's all right. Now this character is all about. So this character is all about proper spacing and like maintaining the right space for the right enemies at the right time in a fight. And I'm just not doing that. Right.
Gotcha.
I need to focus more on making sure that I like. And I think characters like Thresh, will pull me out of that good position, and characters like Lucian can change, like can get much closer to me than I'm comfortable with them being, and dump a lot of damage into me. So yeah, it's sort of as simple as that.
So, folks, seeing this question again, yes, he can go into the bush, and he will be invisible. However, his orbs are visible no matter fog of, or sorry, they will be visible if they're out of the fog of war and he's not, and they will be visible if they're out of the bush and he is not. So it's definitely going to require some adaptation with him. We're probably going to see some great YouTube videos around around Aurelion Sol blowing some surprises.
Yeah, just wanders into a bush. Whoops.
Yep.
I'm gonna wait for Swift Boots. One kind of funny thing is that we tend to not recommend Swift Boots for most characters, but this guy just likes the speeds, the extra like in combat speed so much that we felt like they were a good recommendation. Let's see. Oh. Well, that's not gonna be able to help that.
Let's see here. 8-Bit Crow, we're actually playing his skin right now, so you can check it out here. Keep in mind, folks, everything here is PBE, so gameplay, and then final technical details and everything. A lot of stuff is still being finalized, so if you see any issues, that's why. All right, Luke, can we get a joke?
Yeah, I did it earlier actually.
Oh,
when
okay,
he
I missed out.
He doesn't tell jokes. Yeah, it's when
He's dragging his serious business, folks.
So he does put on some sunglasses.
Oh, so cool.
Basically does the rest itself.
Oh no, he actually does say stuff for jokes. I forgot.
Perfect. Okay. Harashiri, lore. Tripping over my tongue. Luke here is the gameplay designer on Aurelion Sol, so isn't the person to speak to lore necessarily, but you know, this is still early on. There's a bunch of time, or there's a good amount of time left till Aurelion Sol's release, so we're gonna be getting more information down the line. You know, Aurelion doesn't hate Tarek. He's just better than everybody is the thing. I think is the thing. Like, that's really what we're going for. I've heard the term rock star thrown around, right, Luke?
Yeah, we the sort of big inspiration for him. I'm chasing Singed. I'm the best at this game.
Such a shame.
So yeah, one of the sort of inspirations of the character was we were trying to figure out what sort of, we had this idea for this star dragon, and it's like, okay, well that's epic and huge, and why the heck would that guy want to be here, right? Why would he bother to, oops, early. There we go.
You're alive.
Yeah, the ult is a nice sort of backup thing to have in your pocket for if you're getting overwhelmed, because it'll sort of give you some breathing room. But yeah, we're like, why would this big Star Dragon guy even come to Runeterra? Like, why would he bother? And it's, you know, he's got better things to do. And we kind of hit on that. Well, his personality is sort of like a rock star, pun unintended, but I'll take it. So, you know, it's like he's sort of larger than life, and he's not so much pretentious as he is amazing, and he knows it, right? So, actually, David Bowie was a frequent reference.
David Bowie, man.
Yeah,
you guys heard it here.
Rest in peace.
Aurelion David Bowie's soul. Yeah.
But you know, he's you know, and it's like any great artist I think can be this way, where it's like, you know, they're very particular, right? I need a bowl of 100 blue M&Ms in my room, my dressing room, or I'm not going to do this not going to do this engagement. But here we go. What's up? Oh,
Luke.
So yeah, as
chat's losing its mind again. I think you know why.
It was only one. That was only one rank, and I guess most of a level. So okay.
Time for a great expansion.
Oh, Fufu Bear, you can great name. You can get an idea of his size from the splash. You know, Splash is obviously kind of an aggrandized version, but he is, suffices to say, pretty dang big.
Yeah,
so go check that out.
And we think that the sort of, I'm not sure if this is canon or just like our internal sort of thought on, but like, you know, he is the energy of the cosmos. He can kind of take whatever form he pleases, and that's the gigantic dragon is sort of his, you know, what amuses him right now.
Gotcha. But he could probably do smaller if he wanted to.
Yeah, or possibly sort of what Targon decided he should look like as part of their thing. I forget how much of the lore we've talked about. Well,
not a ton yet, just in the review.
Yeah.
So you guys will hear more about it. Luke, getting a good number of questions on the hitbox. I know there was a ton of work, folks. Definitely rewind on this as well. At some point, we talked a little bit about specifically his shape and size, but just in general, his mechanical hitbox compared to how does it compare to other champions?
Yeah, it's our sort of, I think it's like our kind of default larger hitbox. It's the same as like a Vel'Koz.
Gotcha. Okay.
Which is, it's not like, it's only the front half of him. If I can get an enemy Aurelion on screen, I can hover him and show you what it looks like. But he's off hiding somewhere. So yeah, just to be clear, like you can't see his stars through fog of war or anything. Here you go. So you can see if I hover over him that he like sort of the up to his shoulders is highlighted. That's where his hitbox is. The rest of his sort of tail tapers off. That's all not hittable.
That seems like a good solution because I know it was obviously really tough. How do we do a frigging dragon and not have him take up the whole lane?
Yeah, because like early attempts tried to put the whole character in a hitbox that was as big as the front of him here, and obviously they would be like a pencil.
Sure. Seems like an elegant solution.
Or really short. Oops, I should have done a giant long range Q, but I didn't.
It's okay. It worked out well for you.
Well. And you can see there that my E gets canceled by damage, or in that case being thrown by Singed, who's gonna do it again in the... Leave me alone! No, I'm leaving, goodbye. Oh yeah, and you can see here that Singed sort of gets in my face and I can't really do much to him.
Sure.
Oh well, it's deep ward. This is all part of the plan to deep ward their jungle.
So, King Wags is asking, do you think there's any benefit to building CDR on this champ? I can personally see that there might be just because you got two pretty long CD abilities, like almost ultimate level, on his E. What do you think, Luke?
I don't think this guy likes cooldown reduction too much. The W cooldown goes down pretty sharply with rank. I just didn't want you to spam it in and out during lane. And I think the E's cooldown, I mean, it's flying across map is only actually kind of useful every so often, especially because the passive still kicks in and he still gets to moving pretty darn quick. You see him going 490 movement speed right now, which is a lot. But I just turned and lost most of it. And so, aside from his ultimate, I don't think he likes CDR that much, because really his damage comes from the passive in the W, which is already so repeatable by itself that you don't need the CDR. I would much rather have. Well, speaking of Rylai's, I should go buy a Rylai's.
Yeah, Twitch. Twitch is getting there. The rage is building. So, folks.
Yeah, I'm not CSing. I'm just going around fighting people. I'm not CSing at all. I'm sorry.
Folks, we're seeing a ton of questions still about his passive. We talked a ton about it, so I'd just say just rewind. We cover things like it not showing up while he's in a bush, it canceling on CC, things like that.
Well, yes, showing up when he's in the bush.
Sorry, it shows up while he's in the bush.
Yeah.
It'll show up externally. A couple other things. Again, this is the League community live stream. We do this weekly on Wednesdays. Is kind of our normal stream where we introduce you to random riders throughout the company, play some games, talk about what they do. We also do designers with Skarzard, specifically on Thursday, kind of talking about the current state of what they're working on and balance. And then we're actually also just kicking this off for the first time, where with new champions and maybe potentially with other kinds of content, going to showcase it to you guys right after it hits PBE. Have the designer on to kind of show you guys the feature, in this case, Aurelion Sol. Play some games, answer some questions. So make sure to follow so that you guys can get notifications when we're doing these in the future. Final caveat, this is PvE. Keep in mind that everything is subject to change. This is also Aurelion Sol's skin as well, so it might still be some issues to work out. All right. So it looks like you guys are behind, but you got a cog. You might get there. That thresh chain.
Here, I'm going to use my ult to disengage, which is another totally valid use of it. Oh no, Cogma!
Yeah. It seems like we talked to you folks out there. We talked a bit about the ult earlier, but that definitely does seem to be. It just seems to complement really well. It lets you do something from range if you're getting zoned, like you mentioned, and also lets you get the heck out of dodge if you're having issues.
Yeah, it does a few different things. There's two main functions of it, and there's the knockback, which is the people within this sort of inner range of it here get knocked back to your ult range, which means if they're right next to you, they get knocked back really far, which is I think new in League as far as effects in the game. And then it also has a pretty strong slow on the whole beam, so it's the only spell you have that can actually do damage outside of your ult. That's outside of your W range here, because your Q kind of stops when it gets there.
Gotcha.
Oh no. Wow.
So Ode Infinitum, I'm seeing you say that you don't know how to explain it. Champ just seems really unnatural. But you know, that's it's interesting to me because I think that's a good thing, and that's been such a fun thing. Is once upon a time, we released champions, twice a month or something like that, even more frequently. I think we were doing 2 a patch back when League first launched. And we've gotten to this place instead where we're spending so much time and attention on these. We've got whole champ pods full of great designers, artists, and writers. designers like Luke himself who are working on these guys for months and potentially even longer in some cases. And it's become about making them unique, right, Luke? Like, we really want to make it that experience of like, this champ is like no other, right?
Yeah, I mean, when we make champions, we want to make sure that they are, not just a clone of a champion that's already in the game. I think I definitely index really hard on wanting to have a character that's sort of totally unique, that's like different than anything else in the game, which, I mean, does lead the champions. This guy, he's different to play. He definitely does things differently than other champions do, and I'm clearly haven't mastered it yet myself. And I think that sort of complements well with other characters that might be a little bit more familiar.
Sure. And folks,
but still definitely do something new and different. Like, I think Kindred, if you look at Kindred's kit, it's it's a 80 carry, and you can understand sort of how the pieces of it fit together. But Kindred's thing is that it's a jungle marksman. Like, what a crazy idea. I guess Graves came along, but Kindred does cool stuff in sort of the strategic level, and I wanted to make a character that did some cool different stuff on the there's me being not sneaky, did cool stuff on a more tactical level, a more like input level. He casts spells different than anybody else, and I really wanted to capture the idea that a dragon does not throw stuff at you. A dragon sort of exudes power.
Gotcha.
Let's see if I can get some CS.
Folks, a couple reminders. First of all, apologies for looking over my shoulder so much. We actually had a technical issue. Had to switch computers earlier, so
I am on his
I don't
computer.
have his gameplay up in front of me. I'm just looking at you guys in Twitch chat. Additionally, as well, make sure to follow the stream so that you guys get more notifications when we're doing stuff like this. We don't always know exactly when things are going to hit PvE, so they can come up pretty suddenly. So if you want to get those notifications, make sure to follow. All right, let me catch back up with chat. Yes, indeed, Paladino is right. His stars do activate the weakest version of the Rylai Slow.
Yeah, they otherwise count as spell hits, which is one of those things that, kind of like I was saying, like most characters that have sort of passive damage don't count as spell hits. They don't trigger things like Luden's Echo. They don't trigger things like Rylai's. I wanted this guy, going as realize his passive as fully as possible. So yeah, it does spell damage. It counts.
Gotcha. Luke.
Yes.
Twitch chat would like to remind you of something.
All right. So far, I've only managed to do that for one spell at a time this game.
It's been better. Yeah. Last game, we were a little flustered because we made Luke have to, unfortunately, switch computers mid-game. So missed out on a couple levels, and we had like 4 unleveled spells for a little bit. We're doing it live, folks. Oh, man. So Endless Party talks a little bit about like how the back half seems a little lacking and then he can hardly see it. I think what Luke had talked about is it's kind of twofold. Like, artistically, he's not specifically just a dragon. He's a dragon-like being. He's a guy who has chosen to appear as a dragon right now, so a little bit of insubstantial nature to him is good. Mm-hmm. Also, it neatly solves our hitbox issue that comes from trying to fit a dragon onto Summoner's Rift. So it's actually not part of his hitbox.
Yeah.
All the substantial part up at the front half is.
Yeah, it is mainly a gameplay concern. It was a gameplay first kind of a thing where.
Gotcha.
Ooh, good Q on that guy though.
Can't pronounce your name, but no, Aurelion Sol is on PBE still. He actually just shipped to it today, so that's actually what we're showing you folks right now. So he will be on live sometime in the relatively near future. This is also his skin, so this is not his base look.
Yeah. The opponent, Aurelion Sol, is playing with the base.
Perfect, yes. Shout out to the opponent, Aurelion Sol.
Yes, who's also, if you think the character looks weak, just look at the other character.
Yeah, exactly. Here, let's get the tab up. How's he doing?
He's 9-2.
9-2, look at that. He's got that Rylai's, that Zhonya's, that Rod of Ages. Folks, that's how it's done. Okay. I'm sorry. We need Luke to come back, folks. You need to be nice, okay? When he did Bard, he did this. He's gonna make the next cosmic champ of some kind, who's got long tooltips, and we need him to come back. This is an interesting question. So obviously, stars do damage. I'll give you a sec while you fight your nemesis.
I can ask the question, I guess.
Okay. So if usually the stars would only do a tick of damage as they pass through somebody. If because of the way you and the other champion are moving, the star stays on them, does it keep doing damage?
That's a good question, actually. There's a delay for the same star hitting somebody because
Gotcha.
clearly if there wasn't any delay, it would just instantly kill them.
Yes.
But yeah, but it's actually if you're fast enough, it's actually pretty easy to keep a star on somebody by just like doing this and keeping it sort of in place. And we thought that was. For a while, there wasn't as long of a delay, and it sort of felt kind of degenerate, so we put a longer one. But really what you do is the opposite. You just walk the other way around, and then more stars hit them because you kind of rotate, you counter-rotate and do some mathematics, and yeah.
So Affliction, seeing you mentioned that you wish you had a different ult. Check back a little bit in the cast when you get a chance, or in the stream when you get a chance. Luke actually talked a bit about why this ult fits in pretty specifically with this kit in terms of allowing him something to do from range when he's potentially getting zoned, as well as functioning as a good escape. But check back in the stream for that.
Yeah, it's a very toolkit ultimate in that way, where you use the knockback for getting more safe space. You use the slow for escape. Use the slow for engage. Wow.
Buster Shot, we don't have any lore information right now. As we mentioned, Luke here is the gameplay designer, but obviously it's still ongoing with his promo campaign. So check back for more information on the other on the league website in the days to come.
My stars shine for
Looks like the action is getting heavy.
Whoop, well, got flipped.
This might be it. This might be it, folks. We might be about to end. Tyler1118, that would be a pretty big thing to go into right now, but all of his VO is actually out on YouTube, so go check that out. You got 31 minutes of that. There's a lot of character interactions there, including some salty lines towards Tarek. All right, that's it, folks. Okay, cool. So, Luke, do you mind cutting us over to, I believe it is the 2-camera frame over there?
Yeah, sure thing.
Right there. Perfect.
Yeah.
Okay, awesome. So, folks, that is actually going to be it for today. We're going to wrap this thing up. As mentioned, I'm Adilla Most Dirty. This is the League Community live stream. We do things weekly on Wednesday. Thursday, we do it with Skarzard and some designers. We're also going to be doing more of these PBE Day release things with some of our designers, like Luke Reinhardt, who is Rabid Llama, designer on Aurelion Sol and Bard, for those of you 6 or 7 Bard fans out there.
Yeah, but the 6 or 7 love it.
They love it so much.
Yeah.
Luke,
shout out to our Bard mains first off.
Yeah, let's wrap this thing up.
And Aurelion Sol mains.
Cool. Yeah. Let's wrap this thing up with maybe your favorite little thing about Aurelion Sol, the thing you're most excited for players to get a hang of.
Oh man, my favorite little thing about Aurelion Sol. I mean, I think the obvious one is the EQ combo, where you come flying in from halfway across the map with a Q that you've shepherded all the way there, and it's like, I don't know if anyone's gotten it as big as it can get on PBE yet, but it's the Q missile gets to be gigantic.
Awesome.
So it's, yeah, you get to be better than Scion ult for that one moment. I'm looking forward to those highlight reels.
Great stuff. Okay, folks, a couple reminders. We're actually going to have the next installment of our weekly podcast is going to be coming out on Thursday, and that is actually also going to be with Luke, as well as the writer on Aurelion Sol as well. So make sure to tune in for that on Thursday to get some more behind-the-scenes information. As for the live stream, we'll actually be back tomorrow with Rivington to catch up on with him on life, career, all that fun stuff these days. Yeah, I know, Rivington, man.
That'd be good.
Yeah, and no, this is not Rivington behind me. This is Dash, folks. This is the Dash. This is the dashboard.
Ha.
Do you get it? Do you get it? Okay, cool. All right, we're gonna get out of here, folks. Thanks so much for tuning in. Make sure to follow if you guys want to be in the loop for our future casts. And let's get a big thank you to Luke Reinhardt for coming out here for us.
Oh, thank you for having me. This is great.
Perfect. Awesome. Okay, we'll see you folks later. This is gonna be a little weird because I had to switch computers. I'm gonna go over here. Take care, folks.
Shoot.